Ramble.
Hey, Eugene, do you have a butthole?
Oh, I do.
Well, then this ad is for you. You use water to clean your body. It's time to do that to your butt. It's hard to believe that when we go to the bathroom in this country, most of us just wipe instead of wash.
Yeah, I love bidets.
For years, they've been available, but hideously expensive, costing thousands of dollars. Not anymore. It's time to free the butt. Let's get bidets to the people. Guys, Hello Tushy is awesome. It's a modern bidet attachment. It just attaches right to any toilet that you got, and it's here to democratize the blessings bestowed by bidets and offer clean booty holes to all the people. You know how much? The Tushy costs?
No, how much?
$79.
That's nothing for a clean butt. Yeah, I'm into it. And another reason I'm into it is every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. That is a whole year. But join the millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now and have a clean butt with every flush.
Go to hellotushy.com/tryguys to get 10% off. This is a special offer for our listeners. Go to hellotushy.com/tryguys for 10% off. That's hellotushy.com/tryguys.
Thank you to Tushy, Honey, Caliper, and Coors Seltzer for sponsoring today's episode of the TryPod.
Hey everybody, welcome to the TryPod. You've got Zach, you've got
Eugene.
and behind the control panel.
It's me. Oh, wait, I can
You have
hold
to
on.
switch the
Whoa, there
camera.
I am. Yeah, it's Keith. Looking good. Look at Zach. Hey, you two. Whoa, it's crazy time. I
Keith
can
is
do all the
sitting
things.
in the Miles chair today. He is our engineer. What do we call it? I mean, you're the podcast.
I'm
one.
the studio engineer. I'm a studio engineer, and I gotta also be the video engineer. Yeah, I'm an engineer. You know, my dad's an engineer. My brother's an engineer. So maybe it's time I become one.
Engineer life.
Engineer life.
Miles is out for the next 2 weeks. Ned is also out, and so
For mysterious circumstances, what could it be, audience? What could it be? What could it be?
and so you just got the three best buds. Our tripod is actually now a tripod.
We did it.
Oh, yeah, now we just lost the head.
Oh,
Oh.
was Miles the head?
No. We always joked as a tripod, we're 4 people, so one person's the middle joint.
Maybe I'm like the little part in the middle of the tripod that adjusts the height of the tripod. I'm not actually a structural leg. I just kind of peek up and down.
I think Ned's the head. He certainly does all the books.
It rhymes.
If Ned left, the entire company would fall to ruin because none of us know how to balance things.
I gotta tell you, I'm very preoccupied with this camera switching, and it's very distracting for me. But we got some fun topics. Miles said he was going to send us some fun topics. I got some fun topics. You said you had some fun
I had some topics. Did Miles actually send us topics? I don't know that he did.
He said he was gonna. I chatted with him this morning because he explained to me how to use the rig.
I think he's a dirty, stinky
I also
liar.
told him to send us some advice.
Let's see. Okay, well, wait. I got his right here.
Well, meanwhile, you guys want to talk about my new outside cat?
Yes,
Let's talk
please.
about your outside cat, because I've got a lot of feelings about your outside cat, but update the people.
You have feelings about my outside
Yeah.
cat that's not even my cat yet?
Update, like, give us the
Okay.
whole thing.
All right, so we all know I have perfect Alfred. He's a beautiful boy. He's a sweet boy. And recently, well, actually not recently, this cat has been running around our house since we moved in. And it is orange and white in a very similar pattern to Alfred. So we've always kind of joked that it was like a doppelganger to Alfred.
I'm realizing now that I was going to say that this outside cat looks like the nega Alfred, but actually Alfred looks like the nega outside cat.
Yeah, I did wonder if it was one of those things where, like, remember that Treehouse of Horror where there's Bart Simpson and there's the problem child in the attic, and then they realized that Bart was the evil child and he fooled them, and the good child's been in the attic the whole time. It's
You
just
mean
a
the plot
parody.
of Jordan Peele's house?
Yeah, but I saw the Simpsons episode
Okay.
first, which
All right.
is normal for most children. So this cat's been running around our house all this time, and anytime we've tried to approach it, it's been afraid of us. So we're just like, stray cat. We watch him on the Ring camera run by sometimes, like, oh, cute. And then Becky was like, oh, I want to, like, tried to call for the cat, but the cat was never interested. Until about a week ago, we saw the cat, and it was like meowing like crazy outside. Also, the cat realized that Alfred lived in our house, and once the cat saw Alfred, it's like, you have a cat. You got cat food in there.
So now you think that a cat is processing information on that level and is like, oh, there's a cat in there and I'm a cat, therefore I should also be allowed?
I think yes, because it really didn't care about us until it saw Alfred and they started having meow exchanges. They started having very loud conversations in the middle of the night, typically.
But now I've heard that you and Becky have a theory that these cats just want to fuck.
Well, at first we thought that this cat was a boy for a long time. Only recently did we discover this cat's a girl.
And how'd you discover that?
We got close to the cat and we saw that it had a vagina instead of a penis. Right, Eugene?
Yeah, it's a good way to make it even more gross somehow.
Right, Eugene.
Right, Eugene.
Right,
Sorry, Eugene
Eugene
has to talk. I threw the camera on Eugene and say, "What do you think, Eugene?"
Well, I'm just thinking because I think Becky told this story on You Can Sit With Us.
Yeah, she's been updating. This is pretty redundant to our audience.
What? Well, we have totally different audiences. First of all,
What part of the story?
We have our audience, and the sitters have their audience, and they're not the same.
Maybe, but maybe it is an update. What's the difference? I don't know if she talked about it being a girl.
Yeah, what's happened in the 2 days since that episode came
In the
out?
2 days since then, we have given the cat food a couple times and water.
Which is definitely a mistake, my dude.
Well, I know you think that, but I grew up in Tennessee when we always took in strays. It's part of the
this cat
Habsburger way.
is not a stray.
It definitely is.
I thought you guys said that it was...
We thought it was belonging to the outside. Like we thought it belonged to someone across the street because that's what a neighbor told us. But that's hearsay. And if we've learned anything this year, it's not to believe hearsay. It's to get substantial sources. And the way that I know this cat has no home that it returns to at night was that it has slept outside of our house all night for the last 3 days in different parts. And it's been chilly in LA, so we've been concerned. So last night we put out a towel and we wrapped a little like cat bed out of the towel. The cat immediately went and laid in that towel and slept there the entire night.
Meanwhile, someone's like, Sharon, have you seen our cat? It's been gone for nights.
Well, this cat ain't got no chip. It ain't got no
How do you
collar because I felt its back. You can feel the chips.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a cat, you can really feel the chip. It's like, I don't know, it's like an inch long.
Yeah,
not an
yeah.
inch long, but half an inch. But you can feel them.
My cat was always too fat to feel the chip.
Yeah, I
I
tried.
didn't know that.
I tried to once the cat became friendly with us, I really manhandled the cat to try to find a chip. I was like, do you have an owner? And it was very sweet. And even yesterday I was sitting outside with it because what I've discovered is that kitty just wants some company. The cat's very meowy, but once you sit out with it, it'll just lay down next to you and chill. The cat just is lonely.
Okay, I've gone full 180.
Yeah.
I was ready to come in here and say, you fool, you fed someone else's cat. This cat will never leave you alone. Now I know this is a cat in need of a home. Keith, you're about to become a cat daddy. Times 2.
I know. We're deciding like, okay, well, first the right thing to do
You've
is
already decided.
No, well, the right thing to do is to take it to a vet and make sure that it doesn't have a chip.
Right.
Double check that it does not have a chip and I just didn't find it. Then we have to get it checked for everything, which is going to be expensive. We got to check it for feline AIDS. We got to check it for
Scabies.
heartworms, tummy
Scurvy.
worms, scurvy, ringworms, fleas, all that jazz.
Anxiety disorders.
Daddy issues. But a lot of things. We got to make sure that it's a healthy cat. And even then, this motherfucker meows so loud. And I've had a meowy cat before, and I cannot go back to that. So it's probably still going to become an outside cat that we take care of. And then if we find a friend or someone who needs a cat, we'll have groomed this cat. We're sort of considering it maybe it's more of a, what's it called when you sort of have a cat, but you don't really have the cat, or a dog? You keep it, instead of the vet having it, you keep it and you make it a normal dog and then somebody else adopts it.
Oh.
Well, it's basically when you
Fostering?
foster it. Yeah.
Fostering. Everybody, camera's going wild because we remembered what it was.
Yeah!
I think you should get it because the name is so hilarious because you thought his name was, you named him
Bart.
So as
much like the Simpsons character that I referenced earlier.
Hey!
So then as a joke, you found out he was a she, so you would name her
Barty.
I thought it was
Barty. I thought it was Bartha.
Well, it was Bart. It's a lot of things. Becky calls it Birdie. I call it...
You can't call it Birdie. That's Miles' new dog.
No, it's Birdie with a T.
No, you can't do
That's
that.
what I told Becky.
You can't do it.
Trust me.
Overruled.
I told Becky the
The
same thing.
podcast has decided no.
Well, she'll have to speak for herself to her audience later. But
Bartha is so funny.
Bartha is funny. I also call it Barbara. I also call it Birdie.
Barbara's good.
Barb's
I
is
love
okay.
Barbara the cat.
And we have Alfred. Alfred's already such a like an old man name, so Barbara's pretty good.
Oh my God, it's
calling
like
it
Alfie and Babs.
Babs. Oh, Babs
so cute.
is cute.
I'm fine with Babs, but the name is Bartha.
Bartha's great.
That's Bartha.
It's Bartha. It evolves. In all honesty, we call Alfred a million things, so it doesn't really matter what the name is.
I call Bowie Potato.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just matters the intonation of which you talk to the animal. That's all they're really listening to.
Yeah, it's the same with kids, right? Or grandparents. They don't have like their real names. You just name them something else.
Oh, yeah. You name them Daga.
Yeah. Or like Nuna.
Nunu.
Yeah.
Nunu and Papa.
Yeah. I don't think anyone calls their actual pet by their actual name.
Meeples.
What do you call your pets?
Pesto, I call Poodle. And then Kimbop, I call Kimmy. And Emma, I have to call Emma. She has a lot of anxiety. I don't think she can handle being called anything else.
I call her Emmeline.
Oh, Leety. That's what we call her. Leety.
Leety.
It's just you develop a sound and 2 syllables generally, and that's what you end up, it just sticks. So we're always just saying Leety.
Well, Becky was upset with me yesterday because Bartha jumped in my lap, which is a big crossing a threshold of love.
That means you've been chosen.
I have. And I was sitting with her because she just loves to like chill. She just wants company. So I'm like, okay, I can give this cat food and water and sit outside with it. And if that'll make it not meow like fucking crazy all the time, that's fine with me. It's a cute cat. It's a sweetie. And I petted the cat, and then the cat like kind of looked like she was going to jump on my lap. And I'm like, you choose wisely, kitty cat. And then it laid down for a while, and then it got up and it jumped in my lap. And it was like, be my dad.
Now,
please be my dad.
Is Becky upset because Alfred has also chosen you as his favorite?
No,
is this a double?
I think she rightfully is like, we can't have another cat in this house. I'm like, I agree. But we can foster an outside cat and maybe find it a home at some point. And she's also like, it's hard. Your heart melts when you put out a little towel bed for the kitty, and then the kitty immediately crawls into that towel bed and just sleeps the whole night like a peaceful little angel. You're like, she just wanted a little love. She just wanted a little bed.
Well, Keith, keep us posted. I look forward to being inundated with updates on both this, and you can sit with us. Getting the full
everyone, look,
360.
people want to know about cats. If we do share the same audience, they're coming for the cat content.
This is not what I wish for you. However, just if I were to write the best story, first you discovered that Bart was Bartha. Next, I want you to discover that Bartha is actually Bartha Mama and is pregnant, and you just get an explosion. I just spit all over myself. I want Keith to now suddenly be saddled with 12 cats.
I don't want that. That was a lot of my childhood. I'm pretty sure this cat ain't pregnant, but I'm not sure if this cat hadn't had babies before because it has pronounced nipples, which typically is a post mama cat.
Mama cat.
Like cat, they always have nipples, right? That's part of them. But when they're a little bit bigger, it means maybe they were used once.
I hope Barbara Bartha takes off her mask and she's actually a raccoon.
That would be thrilling. Becky definitely did see a big animal on the Ring camera once. Like, look, a big cat. I'm like, Becky,
raccoon.
That's a raccoon.
Guys, I love raccoons.
Me too.
I think they're so funny.
They're little bandits.
They have the weirdest little human hands.
Oh yeah,
and they certainly are not. They're probably all feral. But there is this YouTuber or that's adapted to some TikTok videos where it's a guy, an older gentleman who goes out to his porch. He has about 100 raccoons that come to him, and each video is feeding the raccoons Miracle Whip and then feeding raccoons marshmallows. He just like shows himself feeding them different things, and they descend upon him from nowhere out of the snow, and they all just like go crazy, and he's just sitting there going, well, seems like they really like the mayonnaise. It is so charming, and I just wish I was in a pool of raccoons. I like rodents. I like all animals, but I certainly do not have an aversion to things people usually think are gross. Like I've seen possums, which a lot of people hate, and I think they're cute.
Possums
not my favorite.
They're not gross. They're just scary.
They're
always
pretty scary.
You never get. You
I
only
think they're
get
so cute.
surprise possums. It's never like, oh hey, what's up? I'm possum. It's always boogada-ba. I'm
They
in a
are a
trash
little
can.
boogada-ba.
They are boogada-ba. Once I was leaving my friend's house and they kept their cat food for their outside cats, is Tennessee, out their front door, and I like left the front door at like 9 at night, and I opened the door and there was just a possum, and it looked up at me and I looked at it, and we both screamed almost the same exact sound. It like went and I went, ah! And then I ran back inside the house.
I didn't know they made that sound.
They make like
They're
kind
a
of
little
They make
screechy.
screams.
Yeah.
You should look up. Somebody look up a possum scream.
I also think skunks are fucking cute. I just wish they didn't stink so bad, but they are so cute. They have little legs, they waddle, and they're kind of flat, like a pancake.
Picture this, Sicily, today. You make a list of the gifts you're gonna buy for the holidays. And then someone randomly gives you the money to help you buy one. Well, that's what Honey is doing. They're helping pay for $1 million worth of gifts.
Now you're probably wondering, wait a minute, Try Boys.
minute.
Is this the same Honey that automatically searches for promo codes online?
Yes!
It is. With Honey, you can also make a list of all the holiday gifts you want from certain stores, and Honey will email you when the price drops on anything on your list. That's actually amazing.
Just add Honey to your computer, create a free account, and throw some holiday gifts on your drop list for a chance to win them.
What are you going to add on your drop list? I'm going to add some video games.
I'm going to add a sled.
Get this, there's no purchase necessary, but you do need a PayPal account to redeem the prize, and it's only valid in the U.S. The giveaway ends on 12/21/2020.
Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/tryguys. That's joinhoney.com/tryguys. All right, well, speaking of cats that can be whatever the hell they want to be, this is kind of appropriate because we're all wearing pink today.
Oh, yeah, we're Pink Boys.
Pink
Pinky
boys.
boys.
Something was going around on Twitter this week where Ben Shapiro, professional dumbfuck.
Yeah, Candace Owens first.
Well, oh yeah,
boy.
Candace Owens
They're
also
all
a professional
awful.
dumbfuck. They called out Harry Styles for daring to dress in a dress on the cover of Vogue. You want to help me with some context here? I believe
He's the first man to cover Vogue.
that's the verb, to cover Vogue?
To be on the cover.
Okay, I like
cover
that.
Vogue.
I like that. I was like, that's cool.
My body's covering Vogue.
But if you haven't seen the photo shoot, I mean, they're really gorgeous photos, but he's wearing all sorts of long flowy dresses. He's posing and it's a really fantastic and cool photo shoot that is, without a doubt, pushing the boundaries of traditionally accepted gender norms. But Candace Owens came out with this whole rant. Ben Shapiro piled on the whole right-wing ass media, and they were talking about, the loss of masculinity and why can't men be men. And it's just such a load of fucking bullshit and led to this whole week-long internet conversation that, frankly, I don't even want to have any part of, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
There's only two ways to be. You can only be two ways in this world, and that is boy look like boy, girl look like girl. That's it.
That seems to be the rhetoric
Yeah.
most people want to live by on that right side.
Yeah, it certainly seems like things get attention when a very popular white cishet man does it. And I think that that's kind of part of the issue because I really commend people like Harry Styles for putting themselves out there and styling themselves in genderqueer fashion. But I also think that they are just, it becomes a lightning rod, but it also in some way, two things can be true at the same time, which is I adore Harry and I think he looks amazing and I love the way his style is. But I also think that, we just also are constantly erasing the very real and present trans and genderqueer and gender fluid and non-binary people who are constantly dressing this way all the time in real life, especially those of color. And it's just like, I really just don't need more like straight white people commenting on it. And I think that's kind of the problem. It's like,
And just to be clear, you're not talking about Harry commenting on it.
no,
Yeah.
I think Harry doing what he's doing is fantastic but the whole thing is that accrediting him with genderqueer fashion, I think is where we start. Because everyone's just like, wow, I've never seen that before. And he's also styling the gowns with a tailored tux jacket. Like it is somewhere in the between, which is really amazing from a fashion standpoint. But I think also on the right, people are not aware of like fashion in general, queer influence in general. Like, do you imagine how mad they'll be when they realize that queer influence for young people doesn't stop at fashion? Like they're like, I can't believe Harry Styles wore a dress. And I'm like, your grandkids are watching so many people on social media and probably have so many friends who are like fucking like whatever, middle fingers to the sky, don't care how I dress.
I think that this whole argument that seems to pop up seemingly every year and a half of this is what men can be and this is what men can't be is so exhaustingly stupid. And it is just echoes of the same bullshit that I've been hearing since my childhood, that other people have been hearing since the 60s and before then, and you as a queer person, quadruply so your entire life. And can we just put it to bed once and for all? It is totally restrictive and nonsense. And if you look back hundreds of years ago, what is masculine and what is feminine has always changed. It will always continue to change. And maybe there just shouldn't even be a definition of it to begin with. It's nonsense.
What the right is doing is essentially demonizing queer people. They're demonizing those who actually dress like this. It is transphobic and it's homophobic. So if you think about what they're indoctrinating, it's not, oh, I'm going to be mad just because I see like a magazine cover of someone who I identify as masculine looking wearing a dress. I'm going to be mad when I see a trans person walking down the street.
Right.
I'm going to be mad when I see a group of gay people wearing things that are non-binary, and I might actually attack them.
Right.
Like, I think that's where right when I saw that, it wasn't even like let me tell you about like how I can express my femininity. For me, it's just so dangerous. Maybe that's why I didn't really want to talk about it. Because
no, I get that. That makes sense.
It
That's a
pissed,
good
and that's
point.
why I couldn't even tweet about it. I was just like, everything I say, people are going to convolute and be like, well, what are you saying? And I'm saying, like, in the end, the people who only get hurt from this are those who
We're already the most vulnerable.
are already the most vulnerable, because Harry's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
a
think
fair point.
I applaud everyone who came to his defense, because of course I fucking love Harry Styles and I think he's doing amazing things in fashion. But I also think that the person who's going to be in danger are especially queer people of color who dress like this every day, who just are going to walk down the sidewalk and someone on the right is going to be like, you know what I heard? Can't wear a dress. You know what I heard? You're wearing makeup. You know, and I've been in situations even in like Korea where I was dressed a certain way and people just give you a look where they're like, you know, I was like denied taxi rides. You know, these are things that, you know, because I had lipstick on, because I was out with some friends. Like, it's like these things where people are like, I can exercise this and stand up for you in social media because as a straight person, I'm okay with wearing a dress, but you don't enact that in your daily life.
Right.
And I think people who are in it in their daily lives in terms of their genderqueer expression or their non-binary expression, I think it's just becoming very clear that if you don't bring them up, then people are not going to learn that the real criticism that needs to be had is that we can't always center the conversation around people who are not actually in danger.
I think that's a great point and something to keep in mind. Like, so even for me, right? Like, I saw Ben Shapiro's retweet of Kenzo and left some little snarky comment on Twitter and posted us in dresses. But the reality is, and something that even I should remember, is I wear a dress once a year as part of a video. It is, as you said, it's not part of my daily life. It's not part of my daily expression. It's certainly not a part of my expression of my sexual or gender identity. And there is a line where us as the straights can do what we can to help normalize these things. But really, this conversation is not about us. It's not about Harry, as you pointed out. It's about protecting the people that this is actually part of their lives and broadening this notion of what it means to just be a human being so that everyone can live comfortably and feel safe.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to condemn like what your response was or what many people's response was like, oh, I'm a man, I'm comfortable in a dress, here's a picture. I think that's totally fine because in the end, unfortunately,
it's part of it.
It takes the majority, which is straight identifying people,
the straighties,
to be more open and to be more empathetic and to be more informed. What really sucks is that, and this is the thing that I've been guilty of too, is when someone like Ben Shapiro says that shit, the way you dunk on him is by dunking on his masculinity. You know, you're like 5'3". I mean, he looks like a little putz who could not even like.
He sucks.
He can't. You would beat him in a boxing match, Zach. You would fucking destroy him. And it's one of those things where again.
But that's such a
but everyone's like celebrating
version
that.
of masculinity.
But again, we
like,
are dunking on other people.
Yeah.
People were dunking on Candace for her ends. Like, it was just sort of this thing where we get it. We it's so easy. It's there.
Yeah.
But it certainly is like, how does then trashing, his height, his physical strength.
Yeah, it's the same way as like
we are
when
literally just engaging in the same conversation where
Yeah.
it's a who has the bigger balls, and it's
Yeah.
sort of we're literally just playing in the same toxic masculine pool. And I think in the end, people were defending Harry not only. Listen, people were then defending Harry by saying, like, you realize how much, like, how many girls he can pull. You realize he's like fucking, and also he's beautiful. He's fit. He is literally
He's tatted up like he's badass.
He
it's
seems
literally
nice.
Yeah, I mean, and this is again, Harry is like an innocent player in this because he's literally just living his life. But again, the way we dunk on others is by saying like, Harry is a more masculine specimen than you.
Right.
So it's sort of the whole conversation just annoyed me because I was just like,
centers it back on their
it
antiquated
literally
definition.
centers it back on, look at you.
Well.
You're a little shrimp. Harry's a fucking god. I mean, Harry is literally a god. I am so attracted to Harry, but I just think it's one of those things. I don't want to get into that part, but
Maybe we should.
But it's just one of those things where I'm just like, God, it's so tired because in the end, none of this conversation got anywhere.
Two things can be true at the same time. Ben Shapiro can be a pathetic little shrimp, and we can also choose to take the high road and not talk about it.
Yeah,
Which I just
exactly.
did.
But it's so hard because they took the low road. They took the lowest road. So you want to fight low roads with low roads. So it's just, once I saw it start, I was just like, man, I heard this since I was on the playground as a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't need to like balls to the wall, like, you know, I don't need to quote unquote man up against them. It's just like, that's so tired. And I think that's why a lot of queer people were just so tired of the conversation right when it started. So it's tough. It's
a tough conversation, but you know what? I got a new segment.
New segment.
I got a new segment for us. This segment is called What's on Miles's Desk? Because I'm at Miles's desk and I'm looking around and there's some things that don't belong here. Let's start with, what do you guys think I wouldn't find on Miles's desk? Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Well,
don't look at it. Don't fucking look at it.
This is a hard... Okay,
Well,
so
okay,
just
how-
what would I expect to
how
not
many-
find? What would I not expect?
How many razor blades do you think are on Miles's desk? Go.
Certainly any more, even I'd say one exposed razor blade is too many, but one seems to be a limit of how many razor blades a young boy like Miles would
Okay,
get.
Eugene, guess. Don't look.
wait, like for shaving?
No.
Wait,
No, not for shaving.
what are the type of razor blades are there?
There's the kind for like box openers.
Oh,
Is this the long kind that goes in a box cutter, or is it like the little flat rectangle one that you put?
We're going to find out.
I'm going to say 6.
6. Okay.
I just don't want to believe. I know the answer is more than one because you wouldn't have asked the question. But like, obviously, I know how games work. But there should not be more than one.
Okay. He's got two.
Okay.
He's got 2 X-Acto knives, and this one's exposed. This one's open. I almost grabbed it with my hand. He almost just killed me. He's not even here. He almost just killed me.
Miles.
But these are the kind that it's going to be hard for me to find out how many there are because you got to unscrew it. But typically, you keep extra razor blades.
Oh,
in.
that's cheating.
No, it's
that counts
not.
as one razor blade.
Okay, that's one. Then we got at least 2. We got some scissors, but one was left open. Let everybody know.
So the answer is 2.
2.
The answer's 2. Pretty fun segment so far, huh? Okay, what else? Let's see. What else we got here? We got a light bulb. Didn't expect that. We got a tape measure. We're going to play the old classic game.
How far can it get?
How far can I get it to Zach?
We just want to prove that we are social distancing here in the studio. How far away?
This shot is really funny.
Keep it coming.
I know.
You're going to get it, and then you're going to have to switch cameras, Keith.
I
So
know.
that when it comes into my camera.
Did you guys ever play this? We used to play this
Well, bring it to
after.
me.
I'm working on it. It's got to be gentle, bro.
Well, you're going so far up in the
Yeah,
air.
because it needs to be Steve vertical. If it goes horizontal, it's definitely going to snap.
He's a pro. He's done this before.
Yeah, it's called How Long Can Your Dick Get?
That's
and you
not what it's
you
called.
pretend that the tape measures your dick.
God, your dick is huge right now.
Almost there.
Come on.
It's going to collapse.
Now you have to switch cameras.
What's not in the camera yet?
Well, but then it will.
Okay, I'm going to the camera. I'm going
Does
to
it?
be-
Now bring it to me.
Okay, it's coming in the camera.
Oh.
For the audio only listeners, this is certainly.
All right, we have the tape slowly
It's
lowering. It's not far enough.
Oh wait, hold
Keith.
on. I gotta switch to Eugene's camera.
Yeah, wrong camera.
Oh! Pretty fun. Pretty fucking fun.
It snapped.
Pretty fucking
Oh,
fun.
that scared me.
Wow, that was fun. Well, that has been What's on Miles's Desk. Tune in next week for
Yay.
another one because we're shooting 2 episodes today because next week is obviously Thanksgiving and we have the half of the week off. So we are recording 2 today. Spoilers! What you listen to next week is the same as what you listen to today.
But we're going to change our shirts to pretend it's different.
The holidays are a stressful time. What will I get for my father? Will I be able to see my daughter? There's so many things going through your mind.
You have a daughter?
No, I don't. And one way that I like to help manage my stress is with Caliper CBD.
And I would say that these days, more than ever, we could all use a little help not being so stressed.
Yeah, and also there's a new product from them called Swift Sticks, the first individually dosed flavored CBD powder that dissolves right on your tongue. Remember those little straws full of sugar powder as a kid?
This is the grown-up version of that.
This is the grown-up version of that. Instead of just sugar, it's CBD. What's cool about it, you can choose from lots of flavors. They got cool mint, lemon lime, mixed berry. It's finally CBD that's tasty and convenient, and they're precise portions of 20 milligrams of CBD. No mixing, no messy oils or droppers. It's easy, baby. Caliper believes everyone deserves a simple way to feel better. There's no weird taste, no oily residue. All the goodness of CBD, but you're not going to be a stoned little boner.
Right now, you can get 10% off your Caliper CBD subscription. Use promo code TryGuys at trycaliper.com/TryGuys. Try Caliper CBD risk-free for 30 days, and if you don't love it, they'll give you a free refund-a-rundo. That's trycaliper.com/TryGuys. Don't forget promo code TryGuys for 10% off your subscription. Look, oh God, okay, there's no way to do this without just diving into it. Guys, COVID's bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad right now.
It's bad.
And I think that we have developed this collective numbing, myself included.
Yeah.
Like, I have been terrified of COVID. I want to say, like, I was a COVID hipster before it was cool. As an immunosuppressed person, I was terrified of this. You know, I put myself in lockdown before, and even I now, as the months have gone on, have gotten very lax. I'm seeing more friends. My bubble is expanding. The cases right now across the U.S. are the worst it's ever been. It's the worst since the summer. God, I don't want to butcher his name. Give me 1 second.
Did you know? I got a fun fact. Well, it's not very fun.
Go ahead.
But in LA, if you have a gathering of 10 people or more, your chances of catching the coronavirus are 12%.
No
It
kidding.
is a 12% likelihood that somebody in your party
Here in California.
here in LA specifically,
in LA.
There was data for each major city,
which is not close to the worst in the country right now.
but like that's
the worst
bad.
in the Midwest
that's,
right now, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
1 out of 10. So if you have people
Wow.
there, 1 out of 10 of them has a 12% chance of. So the math's a little weird, but that's still way more likely than anything you've probably done. Like in terms of like, and that's just because of the amount of cases there are. The likelihood that out of 10 people at your house, one of them has it is 12%, which is pretty intense.
Look, I know you're sick of hearing about this. You're sick of thinking about this. You want just a semblance of normalcy. You want to go see your family. You want to see your friends. It's a holiday. Something that I heard this morning really chilled me to my core. I was listening to this guy, Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, and he said that this moment right now, what we're living through and what we're about to live through, when historians look back on COVID, this is the moment that they're going to talk about. Not what we went through, not May, not the summer. This is when shit is going to get bad. Oh, no. And so what we do right now is going to matter a lot. It is going to decide how many people live and how many people die. And a lot of people are going to die who do not need to die. So as you're looking forward to the holidays, Thanksgiving, and Christmas beyond, I know you want to spend this Thanksgiving with your friends, with your family. It's a lot more important that you spend the next several holidays with your family. And unfortunately, if you do not have the ability, look, like, okay, I get it. There are ways around this. If you want to quarantine for 2 weeks and not see anybody and then go see your grandparents because you really miss them, like, social interaction is important. There are ways to do it.
There's ways to do it, but you aren't probably doing it.
No, and if you're just going for a 3-day visit into, to see your family in the Midwest and then come, like, it's just such a huge fucking risk you're taking on. Ugh.
I blame the capitalism and the government. And here's why. Because a lot of places are like, we're going to close down after Black Friday. They're like literally like, no, don't close it down until after we make all our money. Make sure everybody can buy all the shit they need to buy in the mall. And then we'll close it down. And then we'll open it up again for Christmas. Because people had their Christmas. And I really think it's like, it's all kind of fucked up because it shouldn't be open now. Even like, and you will see, and after these 2 podcasts, we may be going back to remote podcasting just for our own safety and also to remind other people that it's serious and you have to be cautious. But it's like, it shouldn't have been open. it just all it's gonna take. It could be over so simple, but nobody wants to do that because they're all afraid of their like the dollar, losing that dollar. And it's like you close for 2 months straight. You give everybody money. You make sure everybody has a means to have food and water for 2 months, and everybody stays at home. And then you go outside and it's all good again. It like you can kill the virus just by like not meeting other people.
So fucking simple.
It's simple,
right there.
But it's the problem is that like how can we expect someone in Iowa to give a shit if their local government's like, no, bars are open, don't fucking worry about it. It's not real.
How can we expect anyone in the country, anyone anywhere, to be told, hey, you cannot, it's too dangerous for you to go spend this holiday with your family. Oh, but it's not too dangerous for you to keep working at your store. Oh, no, that's fine.
And your kids should go to school. And they need to go into the school. And you should go to work. And you can eat outside in a pretty densely packed outside, which LA has been very guilty of. Especially like there were places near me when I lived in Los Feliz that I would see, and I would like drive by and like these people are not 6 feet apart. These people are almost touching
chair to chair,
back to back. Like this person is probably hitting this other person many times throughout the meal because they're closer than I've ever seen people seated at that restaurant outside. Like I've never seen so many people actually outside of this restaurant, the density, and then you're like people just walking by on the sidewalk, right? Like we can't quarantine against those people. They're just random strangers walking by you, breathing at you. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think the most you can try to do is convince your family to keep it under 10. Like I'm just trying to think of active ways someone
keep
could
it under
help.
8, keep it under 6.
Because at least half of Americans are planning to try to go to to holidays. Like if you're traveling for the holidays to see your family, there is a risk. So I think it's just the big thing is make sure you're safe when you're traveling. Try to get everyone tested in some way, and try to convince your family to keep whatever party you have under 10 people,
and
at the very least.
And like keep your masks on.
Keep the masks on.
Especially if you're going to be inside in a small room and no one really social distance and nobody has a COVID test recently and no one's been doing proper things, keep your mask on. Try to sit on opposite sides of your room, set up little tables, and then put your mask back on after that. I know it sucks, but you know what else sucks? Dying. Going to a hospital for four weeks or more, living forever with complications that we don't fully understand from a global pandemic. Like, it's going to be bad. And also, it's fucking flu season, too. And all this time, what's really annoying me about people who are like COVID deniers is people being like, well, the flu is just as bad. It kills this many people.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And B, it still will kill people. Just because we have a new virus doesn't mean the flu also isn't going to happen. Now, the flu season might be less because a lot of the vulnerable people to the flu have already died from the coronavirus, which is incredibly sad and horrifying. But just because there's one new sickness doesn't mean all the other sicknesses disappear. Now we're living with both.
I really don't know that we in good conscience can recommend that anybody travel to see their family for just Thanksgiving. If you don't have the ability to quarantine and socially distance for a decent amount of time, like you really unfortunately can't rely on just tests. We had an incident here in our office, not someone who was COVID positive, but it just showed me how fragile these systems are. And you think you have this super safe bubble, but if one person goes outside that bubble, now everyone is vulnerable. It is too perilous right now, and you do not want to make the decision, the instantaneous decision that puts someone that you love in harm's way. I think we can take a moment to say, we see your pain right now. Yeah. This is incredibly hard. It has been this relentless year, and it feels like this thing is endless, and it's frustrating, and I fucking get it. I'm sick of it, and I think that we have it better than most. We get to see each other. We get to still, have this tether to the outside world. We have jobs. That's, case in point.
Huge one.
And it really sucks. I don't think that we have had people from the top, especially our government, acknowledge that enough to acknowledge the pain that we are going through. I get why you want a holiday. It's something that seems like normal, a connection to your community and to your family and to tradition. I get it. And I am sorry, if no one else will say it, we are sorry that this year sucks. Yeah. But for your good, for the good of your family, for your community, for your country, for the world, please make smart decisions.
But it will take an intense amount of unity around agreeing that we will do something about it to even have the chance of having a summer again. Because we all thought, oh, we'll be done by June. Oh, we'll be done by October. Oh, we'll be done by Christmas. Oh, we'll be done by Easter. Well, it won't be done until everybody does it. And like, I would love I'm honestly going to a music festival scares the shit out of me now. But like, I loved that. I think the hardest thing is that we don't have things to look forward to. And I think that people probably were looking forward to Thanksgiving, and Christmas is something that they could look forward to. And unfortunately, it's not going to work out safely this year, but we have to, we have to work toward a goal of things being safe again. And we just can't do that unless everybody agrees to do it.
So I guess this is like, I'm curious, Thanksgiving is 1 week away. We are staunchly saying you can't do traditional Thanksgiving. So what can people do? I'm putting us on the spot. I don't have an answer for this, but what is an alternative that will at least be fun?
I definitely think that the most safe thing you can do is be with people you're already exposed to. So like having a couple over, like if you and Maggie were in town, then maybe we would have Thanksgiving together, right? But that's one thing, to make sure you are tested if you're going to do something. And actually, you have to get tested after. Basically, you have to, if you encountered somebody, you got to quarantine and then test and then stay quarantined. That's how an efficient test actually works. You kind of just have to
assume that the test is wrong.
You kind of have to assume it's wrong. And honestly, you really have to like quarantine, get tested to totally know. And that sucks. And also, there's not a lot of places, like we are lucky in Los Angeles and California that you can just get a test. Often the same day, and you'll get your results the next day. We have the best infrastructure, I think, in America for
I'm going
testing.
To Dodger Stadium this afternoon.
Yeah, because you can.
Home of the champs.
And that's great. And like, how about that? I forgot all about that. It's almost like it didn't happen. But like, not everybody can do that. So the only way you can know if you don't have rapid testing available is to just not see anybody. And if you get any sniffles, you just have to be like, well, I guess that's that. I can't do it. And it's the fall. It's the winter. You're going to get the sniffles. So there's really it's tough. I struggle with it. It makes me very sad. I love hosting meals and seeing people and having fun, and
because you get joy from cooking for others, which is something that's foreign to me. I get pure anxiety for cooking for others.
I don't know, what's your love language thing? Eating and bringing joy to other people through food, or like hosting or creating a fun activity for people to do, like that gives me joy. It gives me joy to give other people joy.
Here's an idea.
That is my favorite thing.
Cook a bunch of food, drop it off at the food bank. I mean, every single year there's obviously homeless people that need a home.
That's a good idea.
It's getting worse and worse. We have a huge homelessness spike in this country, and there are a lot of people who not only don't have a place to spend Thanksgiving, don't have a place to sleep, don't have a way to be fed. So maybe you can put some of that energy towards helping feed others.
Teach your family how to Zoom.
Teach your family how to Zoom, or
teach your family how to use
Google Meet,
video chat,
FaceTime.
You'd be surprised. You should try to get your parents and your grandparents and whoever you like during the holidays usually see to learn how to use that on their computer or on their phone, or get them
Facebook has
get them
a
access
video
for that.
messenger.
It would be,
they're on that platform.
I finally got my mom to learn. We finally got her to learn this year after my stepfather passed, and it has been great to be able to see her while we talk.
Yeah.
So, schedule those in advance.
And get your family to play a Zoom game. I personally find, my mom loves scheduling these like 10-person all family hands-on Zooms, and no one knows when to talk. So I just end up like saying muted the whole time, and it's just like one person. It's one-on-one Zooms are great, but 14-on-1 is a nightmare.
They're crazy.
But every family, there's one game that everyone can find. So maybe it's a Jackbox game. Maybe doing Quiplash. Maybe doing Drawful. Maybe you do Codenames. Maybe your dad
play
likes
Among Us with your family.
I'm trying to get my family to do it. I'd be thrilled. Little Catan action. Like, there are a lot of games that you can play that have online versions that are dope.
That's true.
I don't know. As I'm saying that, I'm trying to imagine you playing a game with your mom. I don't know.
No, my mom would be lost. Or she'd be incredible. I don't know.
I bet she'd be good
There's
at Among Us.
one game,
If
though,
she could
for
figure
every
out the
mom.
buttons.
But if you kill me, Eugene, I will disown you.
Oh yeah, she had this habit after her husband died, where if I disagreed with her while I was in Korea for the funeral, she would look at me straight in the eyes and said, I fed you with my tits.
I love this story.
And she used the Korean version of the word tit. She wasn't even boobs.
I
It was
hear
kind of the dirty. I don't remember, but I just knew immediately that she did not say like the medical version. No, she was not having it. So she would be very funny once the older people, a lot of them there's just a tech thing. The big thing is once you teach them something, make sure they know where to center themselves in frame. Because many of them really enjoy hovering at the very bottom of a frame.
Yeah, they're looking at you. And they're not thinking about you themselves.
They don't look at themselves.
Yeah. Very different from how I use Zoom. I'm always looking at myself.
Oh my God.
Look how hot I am.
I think everyone literally, isn't there a study like 99% of the time you're just looking at yourself in a video chat?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I believe it. Seltzers are popular, and Coors Hard Seltzer isn't your average seltzer, baby. It's rooted in Coors' long history of sustainability. They were inspired by a generation that wants to do good in the world with a mission to restore America's rivers. They've got all sorts of unique flavors. They got the black cherry, the mango, the lemon lime, and the grapefruit. I'm a lemon lime boy.
And I'm a mango go-getter.
No, they're good. I got a fridge full of them. They're nice to sip on.
If you don't know, 80% of America's rivers are drying up. That's bad. So through a partnership with Change the Course, Coors Hard Seltzer is helping to protect and restore America's rivers. So this is how it works. Very simple. Each 12-pack of Coors Hard Seltzer restores 500 gallons of fresh water to U.S. rivers and the communities that depend on them.
The result is 1 billion gallons of water restored to 16 river basins across the U.S. in year one alone. This is a great endeavor, guys.
By simply drinking Coors Hard Seltzer, you can, quote, volunteer to restore America's rivers. You buy Coors Hard Seltzer, and you help restore 500 gallons of water into America's river. It's that simple.
Visit CoorsSeltzer.com to find Coors Seltzer near you, and that is CoorsSeltzer.com. And for every 12-pack sold through 8/31/2021, Coors will purchase services from Change the Course to restore 500 gallons of fresh river water. Details at CoorsSeltzer.com.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
This is some good advice for the holidays, but we always have advice segments here on this, and luckily Miles has sent us some advice to read. But
I just texted it to you, Eugene.
It would be best if Eugene, you could give us some advice that would go for Miles. Could you do that?
Oh, so I'll say advice?
Is advice that'll go for Miles. Tune into your radio station. Wait, cold read it, Eugene. I don't want you to read ahead.
Go for Miles.
Everybody ready, Miles Nation. It's advice that'll go for. It's advice that'll go for Miles.
With your host, Eugene.
I know what you're thinking. I'm not doing his faces. I'm just doing the voice. Miles isn't here this week, so the advice is going to stop. Right?
That was like Scooby-Doo.
Right? Wrong. Have you ever wanted to stand so hard you essentially work for the guy?
Oh, stand. I think they said stand.
Have you ever wanted to be in the presence of a king?
I hate knowing that Miles actually writes these.
With the vibes of a queen?
How did he spell queen?
Yes, queen with a K. Whip out your iPhone 4S Plus, go onto the Google Marketplace, download Instagram, and peep Eugene's account.
Wait, what?
So many photos of the number one try guy in the group, all in one place. And in terms of dogs, this guy's got some dogs. Feast your eyes on the pictures of yesteryear. And while you're at it, maybe toss a follow to some of the other people in Eugene's wheelhouse. Maybe some of the employees who work on the podcast. Now that's what I call a spicy meatball.
Wow.
He just said to go follow Eugene?
Yeah.
I think he said to go follow Miles via
Yes. Go
my
check out
Instagram
Eugene's account.
But don't follow him. Then go look at who he's following, and maybe there's a gremlin.
Yeah, maybe there's a cool guy that
that's
also
the
has a
advice.
dog.
Fuck
It's
if I
on his
know.
Instagram. You can go see. He's got
Miles
a cute
has a
little
dog. It's cute.
He's got a cute dog.
I'm so excited. I want to touch the doggy.
It does look
It
fluffy.
looks cute. It looks fluffy. Mm-hmm. I can't believe. Well, I guess we're not in time to always be in the office. We're not in the office, so I might have to find a way to go to Miles's place to touch that dog.
We need Miles to just bring the dog. Miles, if you're listening, which you are because you're editing this, even though you're still not here, please bring us the dog.
Bring the dog.
I want you to claim your place as having the true birdie so that Keith is forced to call his cat Bartha.
If you had just waited a couple weeks, you could have instead gotten my outside cat, which would have been nice. Cats are easy, but I don't know how easy this cat will be.
So Miles' advice is social media.
Social media.
You guys saw fleets on Twitter this week.
Oh boy.
Twitter's adding stories. We don't need to have a whole conversation.
Hey, you know
about
what though?
but-
I gotta say, they nailed the name.
You think so?
Yeah, it's fleeting.
Fleet. I mean,
I don't think
it rhymes with tweet. It is a fleeting moment.
Yeah.
I don't think they could have come up with a better name other than maybe Fleep. Send a Fleep.
Listen, it
I'm
was
sleeping.
wasn't it Snapchat did it first,
Snapchat. Yeah.
and then
Instagram.
eventually Instagram
copied,
did it,
then Facebook.
which
LinkedIn
is
did it.
Instagram.
LinkedIn has it,
Secretly.
I didn't realize that. I don't
Yeah.
use LinkedIn, but people.
which is like, what are you?
LinkedIn Hive is.
What are you
They go hard.
storying, snapping on LinkedIn that you want your like professional connections to see?
Oh, I just took a great workshop. I'm pretty skilled now. Learned a lot of new skills. I'm very good at Excel now.
A fleet of my PowerPoint presentation.
I'm just so sick of the internet just homogenizing into one glob. I want my internet to be different. I want to have different places to go. And also, Twitter is like the stories. It feels too intimate for who I follow on Twitter. It's not what I want there. I don't
Twitter
want
is
to know
for news and jokes.
I want your brain and I want your snarky comedy. I don't want to see your face.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
here
really
for
not
your,
the place for looks.
I'm not. That's not why I'm on Twitter. I'm there for your juicy brain.
Unless you're in porn.
You can do. There's a lot of porn on Twitter.
There's a lot of porn on Twitter.
There's a lot of porn on
All right,
Twitter.
so-
I love it. I'm always like surprised when I open up someone's response to something and I'm like, that's porn.
Were you ever Tumblr dudes? Because that was like, oh my god, there's so much.
Oh, so much porn
It
on
was like,
Tumblr.
whoa! All of a sudden, you're scrolling through, and there's whoa.
You know, it's very funny for me is that.
Yeah. Yeah, Keith?
Remember? I don't know her actual
Yeah.
name. The eyebrows on fleek girl.
Yeah.
Well, when I made that basic video forever ago
Right.
about eyebrows on fleek, I learned about what fleek meant. I followed her on Twitter, right? I still follow her on Twitter, and every so often she just retweets a naked black man with a huge penis, and it's a great fun like surprise
dick,
on
yeah.
my Twitter feed. And she'll not every day, just sometimes there's just a hot, sexy, beefy, naked black man, and like that's become very normal for me. Twitter's an amazing place.
You're just seeing some
What do you guys think about that?
surprise dick.
It's a surprise. I was very surprised the first time it happened. Less surprised every
But can
subsequent time.
you be naked in a fleet?
Let's find out.
I'm just
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
curious.
I was actually
I'm curious about the rules.
That went through my mind as well. Do they have the same like all's fine attitude with the videos? Because you can upload a video on Twitter of you fucking.
Yep. You can.
And then what is right? Because I've seen like not again surprise dick on my timeline, but like I've seen video of dudes just like jerking it on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
And well, I guess anything goes.
anything goes.
I mean, typically, I believe if you work in porn or you're a sex worker, you put like XXX in your handle. I think it's like a convention at the very least for
Oh,
So
yeah.
Vin
identification.
Diesel's allowed to post whatever he wants.
No, but I don't know.
You
know.
put something in there.
I'm not an expert. I don't know the rules. I just have a lot of friends who have a lot of friends who are in porn. So I see a lot of the posts, which certainly if you're not looking for that, you don't want it, not a fun experience, but it is a great, it is a pretty vibrant community of people being able to share that type of content. So I was curious if you're allowed to do that in a fleet, because that seems like a place that you can't do that in Instagram.
That's what makes it a fleet.
You certainly can't do that in LinkedIn.
I cannot believe that I forgot about this.
What?
So we were doing an Among Us night, Keith and some other friends, with our friend Lauren from Lore DIY, and she brought up that Trisha Paytas, who we don't talk about,
Oh,
who cares,
boy.
that she posts on her Twitter a ton of photos and videos of her squirting. It became this whole conversation about squirting. What is it? I'm sure you love hearing me say this and hearing me talk about it.
What a horrible word.
It's I think
in
it's
that
delightful.
context.
It's one of my favorite sodas, Squirt.
Oh.
But so she then brought up as her Zoom background a ton of photos from her timeline, including one where Trisha is dressed as Borat in the green bikini.
In the Borat.
In the Borat bathing suit with a mustache, fully naked, engaging in the soda that I just named.
Oh,
it is the funniest
don't call it
thing
the
that I had
soda.
ever seen. My body was broken from laughing. Porn has never been so funny, and it has made me realize that porn has the capacity to be funnier than any joke that I will ever tell.
Yeah, we knew that. Didn't you know? Like, porn acting is so funny.
It
is funny.
It was a moment of intense clarity for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into my proclivities, but I think like
we don't have time. Maybe
Go
next
off.
week.
there's literally a knockoff of any like tentpole mainstream hit in media, like Avengers. Once Marvel went off, there's like a million superhero porns. They are so funny. I sometimes just like watching the acting scenes. I don't even want to watch the porn.
Maybe we should do a future episode where we have listeners send us their favorite comedy porn scenes, and we'll just watch them.
I mean,
you'll get to hear us react.
The most funny is the one that went.
Pretty good idea.
The one
Not
that
a bad idea.
Pretty good
I don't know if
podcast
it's a good idea, but it's not a bad idea.
the most funny from the gay porn world is really in front of my salad.
That's so good.
I
You know
mean,
this,
it's
right?
hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Not in front of my salad.
Tell the people.
Long story short, a woman is eating a salad in a kitchen, like at the kitchen bar, and her friend is like, I guess, cooking with his friend. His friend takes off his pants under the apron, and they start engaging in coitus in front of her, but she's still eating her salad and just kind of hanging out, just kind of like talking. And then at some point she realizes what's happening, which surprisingly, this is a setup for many gay porns, where it's just like a girl, either the like wife or a friend, who's just hanging out and then suddenly realizes it's happening, and then it's just like, I gotta go. And so in this one, her exit line is, really, in front of my salad? And then she leaves with her salad, and then the actual pornographic scene commences. But the setup is so funny, and I find actually, that's not true. I find so much delight in the weirdest setups, where it's always just like a girlfriend who's just hanging out and being like, oh, okay, so this is happening. Great, gotta go. And yeah, that weirdly lifted my mood.
2021, let's bring laughter back to sex. It's so serious. Porn's so serious. People having sex are like, ooh, I'm so hot. Let's laugh a little. It's supposed to be fun.
I agree.
If you're not cracking jokes during your coitus, you're doing it wrong.
That's right.
You need to have a back pocket knock joke that you throw down right when you're in the heat of the moment.
That will never work in real life.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Me. Me. I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Wait a minute. Try Guys recreate porn setup scenes.
That's pretty good.
Just like the
Just the
actual
setup.
scripts. Just the scripts of the setups of like the most famous, hilarious scenes going into a scene.
I'm into that.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
Try Guys recreate iconic porn cutscenes.
Yeah. So we do not in front of myself.
Oh, hi, Rachel.
Okay, Rachel. That's gotta be the end of this one.
What's up,
Mom's
Rachel?
home. Mom's home. We gotta stop talking about porn. So this has been a great episode of the podcast. And we're talking about boy stuff, Mom. We're talking about we're talking
We
about
wanted
boy
to
stuff.
differentiate ourselves from You Can Sit With Us because Keith was talking about the cat. So we're like, what can we do that's
It's
unique?
my story too, and they have a totally different audience from us. They get more views, so they have to have some different audience.
We'll see you next time. Wow, Rachel being here really threw me off. I feel like we just got caught. Like we're up past our bedtime.
No, the Try Guys are not gonna try porn. That'd be great. We couldn't even release it on YouTube.
That energy was literally like when your mom catches you watching porn when you're 12.
No.
What were you saying? Oh no, I was saying corn. Try Guys recreate
I thought it was
corn.
about a bunch of idiots. You know how sometimes you're like, don't be such a boob. I thought it would be idiots doing funny stuff.
Keith, hit us with the TryPod theme song.
The Try Guys are gonna try porn. Yeah, the Try Guys are gonna try porn tonight on the tripod. What is the stick of the tripod? You'll find out in the Try Guys Try Porn on the tripod.